those apologies suck. I don't know who that person is anymore. Every apology video I've ever made has been from fear. It's me sitting at home thinking the whole world hates me and crying and hyperventilating and then just turning on a webcam and just saying I'm sorry and then hoping people know I'm a good person.
This is what I'm talking about. This is why we don't automatically accept apologies. It's because your actions don't match your words. You guys will say sorry and then go demean Black people the next day. There needs to be action. So
that was the Sovereign in response to Shane Dawson's apology video titled Taking Accountability, which in my opinion, he did anything but take accountability. Anyway, I highly recommend you go out the Sovereign's channel. She's very bright, sharp-witted, well-spoken young woman, and so go check her out. I will link her video in the pinned comment below. In this video, we are going to talk about both Trisha Paytas and Shane Dawson's not only problematic past actions and comments regarding race and blackface, but also their inappropriate actions on camera, comments, and or tweets regarding children. Buckle up, this could be a bumpy ride. The reason we're also going to talk about Trisha Paytas in this video is because she recently uploaded a video slamming David Dobrik and the Vlog Squad and their alleged racism and grooming of young people. Now, I know nothing much about the Vlog Squad except that one of its members, Jason Nash, is also Trisha's ex. So I have to wonder about bias here. But also, I think her own hypocrisy really needs to be pointed out here. It might fly if Trisha actually showed contrition for her past acts and actually took actions to show that she had evolved and grown from those experiences, but clearly she has not. With Trisha Paytas, let's see now. Oh, look-see. A video entitled something along the lines of changing her ethnicity or something along those lines in the thumbnail where she identifies as Black. But this is nothing new, Trisha changing identities. This is one of her many ways of being the queen of trolls of YouTube. Right away here, her ignorance is showing. Clearly, she has no difference between race and ethnicity. Now, let's take a look at the difference together from the National Geographic, shall we? Race is usually associated with biology and linked with physical characteristics such as skin color or hair texture. Ethnicity is linked with cultural expression and identification. However, both are social constructs used to categorize and characterize seemingly distinct populations. In other words, Trisha, yeah, once again, you need to get educated. Now, I think we all know by now that Trisha's content, for the most part, is disturbing, whether she's trolling or she's for real. Yeah. And much of what she does, of course, is for shock value and views and the like. She has no sense of humor, so what does she do? She trolls. And she trolls the most outrageous things. Trisha identifying as Black in 2017 is nothing new. It got more outrageous as the years marched on. She's identified as a chicken nugget. She's also done this rather confusing mess of a video identifying as transgendered, which of course offended the transgendered community. She's trolled mental illness over and over again. the latest of which she trolled dissociative identity disorder, one of the more controversial diagnoses out there. She had succeeded in harming the dissociative identity disorder community, needless to say. Now, with those tweets I showed earlier, her thing for minors, I don't know how to put it. I really have no idea how to word this. Was she trolling? Or was that how she felt at the time for real? Regardless, she could have caused some serious harm there, and I would guess that she had. Either way, from what I could tell, she's never shown contrition for those tweets, nor has she taken any action to show that she's grown or evolved from the experience. As to Shane Dawson, this is a little bit trickier because despite his so-called shock jock, so-called edgy humor, he would like to call it, he more often than not comes off as the guy everyone wants to be friends with. This is a personality trait Trisha simply does not display. She is not a nice person, or at least not online she's not. It's easier for us as the audience to want to cancel Trisha in short order. Shane Dawson, despite his problematic behaviors in the past and in the present, and there have been many such events over the years, people seem to easily forget about those earlier transgressions. He has that boy next door shtick thing happening. He looks approachable, unlike most of the bigger YouTubers such as Jeffree Star or Trisha Paytas, for instance. Trisha Paytas is the girl we all love to hate. She knows it, and I think she uses that to keep herself relevant. By contrast, Shane Dawson seems to want to try to please everybody. You want to like him. Up until recently, many probably wanted to be his friend. And that was the image I think he wanted to portray. It certainly looked like he was trying for that. Except here's the thing. Many who harm children or are racist often seem like the nice, awkward boy next door. And that's what makes people like that more dangerous, even more so than a Trisha Paytas. I'm not just referring to his past racist antics like blackface or his so-called comedy sketches that demean black people. Yes, those acts are egregious, and there must be consequences for acts like that. In fact, that alone should get him canceled, unless, of course, like Jenna Marbles, he would have shown to have grown from the experience, that he's grown up, that he's evolved, that he's completely detached or almost completely detached. Up until recently, according to The Sovereign and many others, those videos were still up long after the fact and still monetized. It would appear that only recently that he did a purge of his channel, and only after all of that stuff came to light with the children, with the racism. When Shane in his apology video said that in the past he ran off scared, got a newsflash, he's still doing just that. The Sovereign even had some great ideas for how Shane can prove evolution from his racist acts in the past. Even events like promoting smaller creators who happen to also be persons of color, for instance. However, given his own inappropriate online actions with children, I doubt there is any coming back from this, but that's my personal opinion. The inappropriate sex education lesson to his 12-year-old cousin, for instance. Now, yes, sex ed is needed when kids start to hit puberty, and the best way to teach children or preteens how to protect themselves as they enter that world is to educate them. But there are age-appropriate ways of doing that. Presenting a 12-year-old with sex toys is definitely not the way to do this. And neither is asking the poor girl on camera if she is bleeding. That is, talk about cringeworthy. Now, I don't have the clips. However, Jacqueline Glenn has a video with all the clips, which will be in the pinned comment below, should you need more details that I am providing here today. Then, of course, there was a video of him seeming like he was getting his jollies, looking at a poster of an 11-year-old Willow Smith. For those who don't know, she is Will Smith's daughter by ex-wife Jada Pinkett Smith. Willow, of course, is now all grown up. She's an adult. All this that I'm mentioning have taken place about a decade ago. Needless to say, Willow Smith's brother Jaden and mom Jada Pinkett Smith came out on Twitter showing their anger, and rightfully so. Even if that video was a joke and he was pretending, that is, Shane Dawson was pretending, it does send a dangerous message, particularly to young viewers. We mustn't forget that Shane Dawson's audience, for the most part, is a much younger demographic, many of whom are minors, vulnerable people, many of whom could have thought he was really doing what he was really pretending to do by looking at the picture of Willow Smith, for instance. Same goes for that dastardly, cringeworthy sex education talk with his 12-year-old cousin on camera. What would a young person think? What would their parents think if they caught sight of it? And last but not least of the examples I'm providing today, where he and his mom are on an Omegle video chat, again, about a decade ago, I believe, with a young girl, a girl under the age of 12 for sure.
Making me uncomfortable.
That's what's making you uncomfortable, of all things?
Let me do it.
Okay. Here, talk to her. Tell her to calm down. Calm down. Yeah.
I love you too. Can you twerk for us? Can you twerk for us?
She looks so little. She's so little. If I were her mother and I saw this shit, I'd be so pissed.
I know twerking is insane.
Oh, I love you too.
Oh, I love you too. Now shut up and twerk.
I don't like it. Like I said, I know he's doing it for shock value and to be funny, but this is a real person. She's not in on the joke. It's not like he...
I'm with you, sister. No, that's what's worse. This little girl was not in on a joke. And I have to wonder if this little girl knew she was on camera. And I'm not just talking about the video chat, but this was going on camera to be broadcast in front of Shane Dawson's millions and millions of viewers. And I'm going to guess that no, she didn't know. And what would her parents think exactly? And if her parents and this girl, who would be an adult by now, found out about this, how are they all feeling? How would they be getting through it? And an even better question, Shane Dawson's mother was right beside him. Now, I know Shane Dawson alluded to a difficult youth, and which leads me to at least entertain the possibility that his mother could also have been a problematic mom, and maybe still is. I don't know. I don't know anything about the woman. I'm speculating. But how can his mother even, sit there and condone this kind of behavior, even if her son was grown at the time? Even if Shane Dawson never touched any of these girls, his behavior is completely inappropriate. And yes, it could have long-lasting effects on all three of those girls and any other children he may have made inappropriate comments about, jokes about, or inappropriate videos about, or with them in it. How are they today as adults? How are they functioning? Maybe, and this is something that must be thought out. And this is why, to me, crimes against children are a lot harder to forgive because of the long-lasting damage they leave.
Relating to children, it would be a lie for me to put in the video that I, in good conscience, will ever truly be able to get over the things that I have seen Shane do and say when it comes to children. I cannot in my head find any reasoning behind his actions or his words, and it seems like he can't really justify it either, which there is no justification, but I'm not gonna lie and say that I for sure have the strength in me to forgive him for these child-related matters. I can't promise that. I think that for the rest of Shane's life, this is going to impact how people see him and perceive him and treat him in the future. I'm not exactly sure that there is maybe giving him hope moving forward. There is redemption when it comes to the racist past, not to say that it wouldn't be hard work, but there is. But when it comes to these child-related issues, I can't find a path forward for him. This is definitely going to skew how I see him for the remainder of my life. I can't let it go. I don't think I'll ever be able to let it go. Shane Dawson, I will never think of him the same way that I did before. Not to say that I thought the most of him, but I think we can all agree that it's very possible that some of these things are not forgivable. And that's just why I can't really speak too much on it, because what is there to say? What is there to say? It was grotesque. It was disgusting. And I find it very difficult in my soul to even speak about it. And at this moment, I can't even comprehend, I can't even stomach the thought of forgiveness on that level, on those grounds right now. I can't.
Do you know what angers me very much about this whole thing? Is that it took a scandal in the beauty community, them and their drama. Just a side note here, with all the drama and the backstabbing and the soap opera behavior of the beauty community, where do they find the time to produce makeup? No, seriously, I'd love to know. Anyways, I digress. But like I said, it angers me that it took a scandal in the beauty community that Shane Dawson was embroiled in to find out his problematic past. Problematic, to put it mildly. And why no one is talking about his acts with children or racism more than his part in the whole beauty drama, Carmageddon scam. In both the case of Shane Dawson and Trisha Paytas, they're classic examples as to why cancel culture is appropriate. Both of them should be canceled. Probably a long time ago. And now this was a subject that was important to me, particularly their actions, their inappropriate comments, their inappropriate jokes regarding children. As somebody who suffered childhood trauma and who worked assisting social workers and child psychologists dealing with vulnerable youth, Shane Dawson cannot use his crappy childhood or his mental health as an excuse for the kind of behavior he has exhibited. Many people, like myself, have had traumatic childhoods, yet we don't do these kind of things. We don't hurt other children. We do our best not to hurt other people, and we show contrition when we do take responsibility, take accountability. Shane Dawson, I feel, did not take accountability. It's one of his usual crappy apologies. And sometimes words are cheap. They matter, but in this case, words are cheap. To remove these older YouTubers like Trisha Paytas, Shane Dawson, and Jeffree Star, and make room for the newer people to grow, newer content creators, newer influencers to grow, but not for the sake of growing but because also Shane, Trisha, Jeffree Star, and others like them are just too problematic. And in my opinion, I don't think redemption is possible for any of them. And I love a good redemption story as much as the next person, but I'm also realistic enough to know when redemption is not possible, and it's not possible for them. That's going to be just about do it for around here. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. We always try to encourage a lively discussion here. Take care of yourselves and each other. And remember, if there's somebody in your midst who is at risk or vulnerable, please take the time to look in on them. Thank you, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye for now.